Good morning, and welcome to The Morning Table, an inspirational and devotional podcast for creatives and dreamers. I'm your host, Brittany, and every Tuesday we'll pause, reflect, and reset with a quick word of encouragement rooted in faith. Whether you're starting your day or starting something new, this is your sacred space to breathe, believe, and begin again. So let's pull up a chair.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you're on. This is Jason Marshall, and I just want to share a quick word that I'm learning on my Christian journey, and that is separation comes before elevation. I'm learning that sometimes the people that you thought would always be a part of your journey are no longer a part of your journey, and it's not that you've done anything to them. I mean, totally unwarranted separation. Is not that really they did anything. Sometimes a situation can be perfect, but I'm learning that a lot of time is, people maybe were only supposed to be in your life for a season, or maybe they were just only supposed to be a part of a chapter in your book, but not the final destination. And so, you know, I just want to encourage you that sometimes you can't try to hold on to people so much so that you block or hinder the blessings that God has for you, because if God is trying to specifically design a blessing with your name on it and you trying to pull them along, they weren't actually supposed to partake in that blessing. So I just want to encourage you, and I've saw a few examples of that in the Bible. I mean, you take Abraham for example. This man had to just pack up and just leave. He left the land that he always knew. He didn't really know where he was going. He just had to trust God throughout that journey. But the outcome was he became the father of many nations. I mean, that's something where you really have to trust God and move in faith and know that, hey, it's a bigger plan and a bigger purpose for you. And sometimes, unfortunately, you got to get away from certain friends, certain family, so that God can do what he needs to do in your life. Another example, Joseph, right? God had a blessing for him, but he went from the pit, his brothers putting him in the pit, and then he went all the way to the palace and becoming second in charge for one of the most powerful nations in the world at that time. But again, it just took a separation before God could really elevate him. And good Lord, look at Jesus. Now, this is a situation where, everything was perfect, but still there was a separation. What I mean by that is that Jesus was actually in heaven, and the situation couldn't be more perfect than being in heaven, but there was a bigger calling on Jesus's life, and that was to come down and save us so that we can have eternal life. And so just want to encourage those that may feel like, hey, you know, where's some of these people that I thought would be a part of my journey? And again, it's not that you've done anything to them. Sometimes it's not that they've done anything to you, but it's just God pruning and separating you before he can elevate you, because some of these people weren't supposed to be a part of your journey all along. Let's just take it in from even a natural perspective, right? Let's take an Olympic athlete, right? Before they could win that gold medal, it's probably a lot of people and places and things they had to say no to in order to really discipline themselves. And I mean, unfortunately, people will naturally separate from you because, you might not do the things that you used to do anymore, right? And an Olympic athlete probably can't have the same diet that, just a regular old Joe Schmo can have, right? They got to be very regimented, very disciplined in the things that they do so that they can put themselves in a position to be able to win that gold medal, right? And so just wanted to encourage you all that don't to not hinder your blessings. And I'm not talking about those people who have caused a bunch of trouble and people are separating from you. But if you really have taken the time to evaluate yourself and know that you haven't done anything that warranted somebody to leave, or you've taken time to just say, well, hey, they haven't done anything, I haven't done anything, I want you to realize that sometimes God is just separating you before he can elevate you. So just be encouraged, be inspired. And this is the Morning Table with Jason Marshall. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you so much for joining me at the morning table. If today's word encouraged you, consider subscribing and sharing it with a friend. You can find more at BrittanyDotsonMusic.com or follow along on Instagram at BrittanyDotsonMusic. Until next time, keep creating from a place of peace.